from meredithhawk.com, and I'm coming to you from my backyard. As you just saw my amazing lab playing in the grass and eating it. I'm going to do a quick video today because in the next few videos, as we wrap up this 30-day life of abundance, I'm going to be doing some pretty in-depth videos that might take a little bit longer to really talk about how to connect all of the dots that we've gone through with this entire series. So today I am going to speak briefly about compassion. Compassion can be a very difficult concept to really embrace. It can be especially difficult when you're dealing with people or individuals that are perhaps not very kind to you, or not very kind to themselves actually, and that is projected out towards other people. Compassion means having a open understanding of other people, but also having an open supply of love towards that person. The one way that I was able to really learn deeply about compassion, hold on, I think my dog is going to jet to a golf player. So the way that I learned about compassion in its true form was given to me by an example and an experience that I had, and it's a very extreme example, but it really held a place in my heart, and I remember it and always remember it and think about it constantly. In New York City, after the 9/11 attacks that had happened, Richard Gere had given a speech or presentation. If you don't already know, Richard Gere is a practices Buddhism and does a lot of work for Tibet as well. And he was giving a speech in regards, reflecting on the 9/11 event, and he had asked the crowd to have compassion for Osama bin Laden. And it was a Buddhist audience, or people who understood what he was speaking about, but it was being videotaped. The videotape went viral, and there was a huge backlash, and it was taken out of context. I had actually watched the video, and I was confused. I was like, wait a second, I was in New York City when the event happened, and I was quarantined and was stuck in New York City, and it was a traumatic experience, and everyone has their own reflection with 9/11, but I was confused, and I was hurt, and I didn't understand it. So instead of projecting that fear and that not understanding of a subject matter in anger or sorrow or repressing or pushing it away, I kind of looked into it more and came to find about the concept of you need to treat everyone as if they were your mother. And so it was then explained to me that compassion is another person, let's say a loved one or anyone, can do very wrong in their lives. Wrong is, a different concept, and what one person might perceive as wrong might be different for another, but they could do actions that have a negative effect on themselves or people around them. But having compassion is understanding that there is always hope for that person to come to that understanding, that hopefully one day they will rather enrich people's lives, enrich the universe and the people around them and themselves. That somewhere in their heart and their body there always lies a covered gem or diamond, so to speak, that will hopefully become apparent in some point of their life. So perhaps your mother, let's say, had created crimes and ended up in prison, and even though you don't support their lifestyle and you don't support their judgments or what got them to that point, you still somewhere inside of you have this love or this compassion or this hope that perhaps it will change one day and things will be different. And when it was explained to me like that, a light bulb went off, and I understood it to such a greater degree. And it's very hard to implement, and I've tried over the years. I've had experiences with people close to me that have been very, very stressful, and at the actual time of those stressful experiences, I actually tried to implement that mindset, and it was virtually impossible. But the hope is there, and that's really what compassion is. It's a very difficult concept to understand and implement when those experiences are actually happening. It's a lot easier when you're stepping away from it and then having compassion towards someone. But that is what I believe is true compassion, is not just feeling sorry for someone, or, oh, it sucks to be that person, I feel sorry. I have compassion. I feel like I understand what they are going through. That's part of it, but that's not the whole thing. Test your boundaries and test that concept. Take someone that you might not know, that you find has created a lot of anger in you. There's a lot of situations in politics, police brutality, inequality today that can really have you test the concept of compassion. See how you feel towards those people. Take someone in particular, think of that person, perhaps feel the anger rise up, perhaps feel the stress, and see if you can start to think about that person as the concept of being your mother and hold compassion for them. Let me know if you try it and how you feel, and I'd really love to hear back from you. It's a little exercise. It fits really nicely in this 30-day life of abundance, because without that concept of compassion, it's almost impossible to coexist with things going on around you that can set off anger and stress and sorrow and sadness, hate. We all have those feelings. We're human, but it's what we do with them that matters. So I'd love to hear from you, and I look forward to seeing you back tomorrow. Cheers.